Hi, welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. My name is George Alger. Today we're going to be talking about human trafficking, and our guests today are from the Soroptimist Club to discuss this. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Going to have you each introduce yourself. Let's start with you, Sylvia.
Yeah, my name is Sylvia Martini. I'm a member with Soroptimist for over 9 years, and I'm also the Vice President of Membership.
Thank you. Kathy.
Yes, my name is Kathy Morgan. I am a new member of the Ventura Soroptimists, and I'm still learning all about it.
All right, well, we want to jump into human trafficking right away. However, we do have to define what is a Soroptimist.
Soroptimist. Sounds strange. Literally means the best for women and girls. It's a worldwide biggest women organization, and we turn 100 next year. Nobody heard about this. So we are all over the world. We have clubs in the United States where it started, and all over the world, Philippines, Europe, everywhere. And we want to empower women, especially disadvantaged women. We have many of them, to help them to have a better life. We do fundraising, and we raise the money, mostly give them the money for education, because education is the key. So women and girls empowering program.
Good. Now, we mostly want to talk about human trafficking. However, what's the connection between the Soroptimists and this topic?
Well, since the Soroptimists want to work to improve lives for women and girls, and since of the 600 to 800,000 people trafficked across international borders each year, of those numbers, 80% of them are women, it's a logical step that we would be wanting to work to raise awareness, to help do what we can to prevent sexual trafficking, to advocate for victims, such as advocating for legislation that's more fair for victims, and so on.
Good. So this is a perfect segue into the subject itself, but is human trafficking and sexual trafficking the same?
There are different kinds of human trafficking. For instance, there's forced labor, there's sexual trafficking, there's trafficking for organ harvesting, there's trafficking for pornography. But yes, a huge portion of it is sexual slavery.
Good. So now, if you're just trying to introduce this vast topic to someone, what would be one of the first points of information you'd want to convey?
It's actually that it's now the second biggest revenue people make with sexual trafficking. We heard about, the last number we heard was $32 billion worldwide
for the second largest criminal activity.
Yeah, and it's growing.
Wow.
And that many people believe that human trafficking is only in other countries, but this is not true. There is human trafficking in the United States, in California, and in Ventura County.
Really?
It's around the corner, everywhere in our neighborhood. When we invited people to our event, they had no idea. Sometimes they start crying. What? It's next door, everywhere. Massage parlors, private brothels, or cheap motel venues.
Okay, so human trafficking embraces a number of different specific ways to sort of abuse people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But would you say that some or all these ways are prevalent in, let's say, most cities in the United States?
Most cities, for sure. When we heard about the last Sunday event, this was in Miami, we knew that there were a lot of sexual trafficking during the sports event, and many cases I just heard they caught people they were looking for having sex with, often underage girls.
Okay, and are most of the underage girls coming from other countries?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
And what we find is that it's the vulnerable among our population. It's runaways, foster children. These are the ones that the traffickers prey on. And for girls, the average age is between 11 and 12, 11 and 13, I believe. And for boys are vastly underreported. The average age of being introduced into sexual slavery is, I believe, 11 to 13 also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and just to clarify my question, what I meant was, are a majority coming from, like more than 50%, which means there could be close, something less than that is from the United States, or is that even known?
We have people from other countries, from China, from El Salvador, from many other countries too, but it is not a problem from people they come from other countries. We have many American girls and boys. I have to say almost children. They are children. They are mostly when they start to get groomed, they are under 18 or as you just mentioned, at 11, 12, 13. And we had one event, we had a young lady also born in America. Her father started to get her ready for the market. She was 4.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
So
very sad.
even parents would be involved with
Yes,
this.
even parents, yeah.
Oh, okay. So what would be a message that you'd want to convey to people who might not be aware that this is actually such a big issue or that it's even in their own communities?
Well, we want them to A, know that it is a big issue in our community, and B, that if they see something, they should say something. They need to report if they have suspicions.
And why by report does that mean calling the police, calling 911? What would you suggest?
There are hotline numbers we will share at our event for sure. But it's, as you said, if you see something, say something. Sometimes maybe you think there is a party going on next door, but if you watch that men coming in and out every 15, 20 minutes, so that's not a party, there's something different going on. It's just be aware. So Soroptimist, with our event and other Soroptimist clubs, we try to bring light in this issue, bring awareness. There are other organizations that go in, they help the women, because many of them, when they come from other countries, they have not a passport, they don't speak the language. So we want to bring the light in, that people are aware it's here in your neighborhood.
Okay, now you're mentioning an event, so do you have regular events?
We have once a year a big event. This will be on the 7th of March, usually around the International Women's Day in Ventura, the Museum of Ventura County. And we will do this always once a year, and we will have a walk together. We go on the street with our signs, Stop Human Trafficking, and then we have several speakers coming up. One will be first time a young man, and he experienced labor trafficking. We have a woman, she is a survivor. We don't say victims, we say survivors. And we have somebody from an organization who shares statistics, but on a very interesting way, and the improvement we made over the last years. Because one of our big motivation is that something happens now.
Okay, and what does that mean, something happens?
Well, for instance, legislation's being changed so that people who have been trafficked are not accused or charged with prostitution.
Okay, so in fact, what are the ramifications of this? Are the survivors of sexual trafficking typically someone who is first found or accused of being a prostitute? Is that a common line?
This was, yes.
Okay.
Just a couple years ago. She went to the jail. She was actually the one who get blamed for a crime.
Okay, and
Not the Jones.
and are the
Or the
courts,
pimps.
is the court system at all sensitive to this type of
Yes.
differentiation?
Yes.
I think they're becoming more sensitive all the time with the increased knowledge about it and information out
Yeah,
there.
and the media picks up the topic. You can read almost every day something about sexual slavery or Stop Human Trafficking events.
Okay. And of these different types of human trafficking, do you have statistics that might suggest like which is the most, I guess which is the worst and which is growing or anything like that?
Especially this area, this is like a corridor between San Francisco and San Diego. Ventura County is a tourist area, so many people, they just come here and looking for a young girl. There are advertisings in different newspapers. They provide services like this, especially for underage girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in terms of statistics, like whether it's local or national, for instance, do you know if sexual trafficking is a greater proportion of human trafficking than labor trafficking, or the other way around? Like labor trafficking would be like slavery, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Okay.
sweatshops or migrant farm workers, for instance, could be labor trafficked.
Okay, so it's not that they're not getting paid at all, they're just probably working under very poor conditions for
Very
low money.
little, or they work much more hours than they should.
Or
Yeah.
they're brought over and they are basically in servitude in someone's home. I've read of instances of that as well.
Okay. So do you happen to have any statistics?
I don't have
Okay.
those statistics. Do you have those statistics?
This change all the time, yeah.
Okay.
But we know every 30 seconds one person will be a victim of sexual slavery.
Okay.
Every 30 seconds.
Okay, and are you suggesting that Ventura County is actually, there's more going on here than other counties because of this
Yes.
corridor you're mentioning?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, we know this.
Okay.
And the people they organize this, let's say the pimps, yeah. So they just try to commute the girls. Every weekend they have other places, so just they're driving around them. So they are not working for a long time in the same place. So they are maybe this weekend here, the other weekend in San Diego. So there's a change all the time. They don't get caught.
Okay, and what happens when someone, I don't know, makes it known that they're in a bad situation like this?
Well, this does happen. For instance, we read in the paper not long ago about someone staying at a local hotel who was able to call down to the desk that she was being held against her will, and they called the police. The desk called the police, and they came out and were able to help the survivor get out.
Yeah, but we had another cases with 30 Chinese women in a motel, and they were not able to speak English, so it's hard for them to, and they have no passport, so they cannot go somewhere. They don't know. They have to serve sometimes 30 men a day.
So for the folks that do speak English, why do you suppose there aren't more of them who are speaking out or calling or doing something to call attention to their plight?
Well, some of them are, they're under a mind control kind of situation. They are being told that this is what they're meant to be doing, that they are helping, that their John loves them, and that they're just being controlled emotionally, and so they don't reach out, or they don't believe that they're worth being saved because of this kind of mind control.
They also get information that if you don't do it anymore, we will maybe do something violent to your family.
Threats.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'd love to chat about this much more, but we're out of time. I'm wondering, before we close here, if you could fit in a quick summating message of, for the viewers, and also if there's a website that viewers can go to for more information.
So we would like to invite everyone who can make it on the Saturday 7th of March. This will be a community walk, 1:30, and then we have the speakers I mentioned, Jimmy Lopez, Teresa Harvey, and Daryl Avey. And this will be at the Museum of Ventura County. We have, of course, a website and a Facebook page.
And what's the website address?
Stop Human Trafficking Ventura County. Please sign up or come over. If you cannot make it, just spread the word. And we really want to have also more men. They support us. Usually we have many women. They come over to our event, but we really want to have men. You can also bring your children, especially when they're in the teenage age, so that they are aware what's going on here in this area, that they have not a problem, or they share it maybe with the school. We invite everyone.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we meet again.